Morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Samantha Moore. The Siberian Express, yes, it is moving on in, and it is surging across the central and eastern U.S., leaving temperatures just plummeting to levels we haven't seen in a while.
So the number for today is 109, and that's because we've got the potential for 109 cities to reach record levels by the time we get to Friday. And for some, it will be the coldest air they have seen since 1899, which, when it comes to the weather record books, 1899, that February was an important cold winter, cold February in particular.
Yeah, it has been a long standing in the record books. That was before the Model T ever hit the roads.
That's right.
Before cars. That's incredible.
So in some cases, that's the kind of record you'll be looking at. We look at the cold air already coming in, this Arctic air plunging in, and literally we can trace its roots back to Siberia. That's why this is truly a Siberian Express.
It is, and it's coming across that snowpack all across Canada and the northern U.S., so it doesn't have any chance to modify that air mass. So it is still Arctic or Siberian cold.
Canadian cities, by the way, are talking about the same stuff we are. I was looking at Toronto news, and they're talking about their record cold stretch of temperatures. We're going to feel it, and along with the cold, we've got that Arctic front bringing in some squally snow. We saw it in Nashville earlier today. Now it's coming through Knoxville, Greenville, and eventually Charlotte. You'll get a little bit of this as well.
So into the deep south it will move, and just everyone is going to be shivering here like we have never shivered during our lifetime. So Tennessee, of course, is seeing these temperatures as well.
It's going to get even colder later this week, actually, in Nashville. Maria LaRosa is there, seeing how residents are dealing with the cold.
Okay, Boston, second snowiest season on record as our numbers continue to get tallied up. And the interesting thing, yesterday as we watched the snow come in, we are now exactly tied. We stopped at 96.3 inches so far for the season, Jen.
It's amazing how perfectly lined up, right? So what's also interesting when we talk about second snowiest to snowiest, you go back to the 95-96 season. If you look at the pace at this point in the season, 95-96, they were only at 83 inches.
Oh, so we're
that
well
season.
ahead.
We're ahead of that, and it took until April to get to this. So, we've got quite a while yet to go, Boston.
It may be the snowiest season of all time, and then really snowiest of all time.
That's certainly a big possibility.
Okay, well, all this snow and ice, of course, is affecting Boston Harbor.
Chris Warren is live in Boston, where he's aboard an ice-breaking ship in the harbor. So, Chris, tell us about this. A fantastic report. Now he can't hear us, but we'll have to tell him. Just another angle of this winter and how it affects you in Boston and really anywhere it's been cold. But Boston in particular, let's look at how your calendar of February has added up so far.
It took forever for things to get going, really. I mean, it was towards the end of January, January 24th. We had Juno moving in, bringing in all that snow, and then just one right after another. They just got clobbered, Jen.
Yeah, that's also what's interesting when you compare the snowiest season, the 95-96 season, to this season. We picked up all of the snow, really, since January 24th. That got us to our second snowiest high on record.
That's incredible. Well, a walk across ice-covered water nearly cost a fortune.
Wind chill advisory, it actually goes into effect this morning and stays through tomorrow. So we're dealing with the cold, and it's literally blowing in as we speak. Temperatures have really dropped off compared to yesterday morning at this time. 15 degrees colder right now in Des Moines than yesterday, 11 degrees colder right now in Chicago. And this is the cold air, that Arctic air, the Siberian air that is blowing in. Now, Chicago for us, we are going overnight to a temperature of 8 below zero. That would beat the old record set back in the 1930s. Same thing in Cincinnati. Look at these records. 1936 was a cold February for sure, at least the cold February 19th. And that's what we're going to be looking at breaking and smashing in places like Cincinnati, coming close in Detroit and breaking it in Louisville big time as well. The old record was 0. We're going down to 6 below. And so that's part of the story, is not just looking at slightly breaking or tying records, but we are smashing record cold numbers. We look at Friday morning, and we're going to do it again in a couple of spots, including Cincinnati, where we're going down to 14 degrees below zero. For high temperatures, too, it's going to be notable how cold it stays, how much it does not warm up. Chicago, 9 today, 2 tomorrow, 2 days that don't get out of the single digits in a row. This late in the season is a big deal, Chicago. We do get to 20, but still well below average by the time we get to Friday. This has been a winter to remember, that's for sure, and it's not over yet. Thanks for staying with us on Weather Center Live. I'm Jen Carfagno.
And I'm Samantha Moore. Yes, this incredible cold that moved in, and then we had the snow that fell in D.C. after their...
But not for everyone. And then, of course, D.C. and everyone else gets in on the cold. That's the next thing up here in the weather. So for Boston, let's talk about the cold coming your way. We've got temperatures today which will be in the 20s, not quite to 30, but, you know, better than single digits and teens, right? That's where we're headed as we get you overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, very cold. The wind chill will make it feel well below zero, about 15 degrees below zero. So tomorrow morning, you know, if you're not all covered up walking out there in the streets, you will feel it and you will risk frostbite if you're out for too long, more than 20 or 30 minutes. Then we get you into the weekend, and while, you know, it looks like a warm up when you look at the graph, it's still not warm. We are still only at about 30 when it comes to the temperature and the wind chill. So staying below average through the rest of the week and weekend. Now, New England has been snowed in for several weeks, and it's starting to hit some local business owners in the wallet. MSNBC's Adam Reese joins us live from Boston, where we've got the chance for more snow coming in later today, overnight tonight. And I'll tell you what, Adam, you know, it's good to see people behind you out and about. It looks like life is starting to return to somewhat of normalcy.